Morning.
How much are you looking forward to getting on the practice field and start, going through the game plan?
It'll be good to get back out there. That's where we need to be to get ready for Sunday.
Can you tell us about how much Habo has meant for you as a coach playing quarterback?
He's been a great coach. He's done a lot for me, making sure that this team's going, this offense is going, making sure that the quarterbacks are ready.
Colin, good morning. What do you better today now compared from what you were doing when you first started the game, and why do you that better now?
I think there's a lot of experience under my belt now, a lot more time in the offense on the game field. I think that's the biggest difference between now and then.
Right in the center.
Can you talk a little bit about Mike Crabtree and how it seems when he's took over the job, you target him more, he catches more balls, he's been a bigger factor. Talk about the kind of player he is and your relationship with him.
Crab's a great player. He does a lot of things well. He's a very physical receiver. He wants to get in the end zone every time he touches the ball. So, as a quarterback, that's something you love.
Cap, yesterday Randy Moss talked about the velocity of your ball and you breaking hands and fingers and whatnot. Have the coaches talked to you about when to maybe use the fastball, and have the receivers complained or talked to you about, just the strength of your arm and how fast you throw the ball?
Yeah, in practice they do. Come game time, though, nobody says anything. It's any way we can get the ball in their hands, they're going to be happy.
Hey, Colin. How many tickets did you get for the game, and how did you distribute them, and how many people in your family or friends wanted tickets? How tough of a whole chore was that?
I got all my 15 tickets, and I gave them all to my parents to distribute to the rest of the family. That's not my business.
Yesterday, Mike Upati said that you make his job a lot easier because even if they sort of mess up and let somebody by, you're so athletic that you can still make a play out of it. Could you explain how the offensive line and maybe Mike in general make your job easier?
They've been doing a phenomenal job blocking people. Pass protection, I've barely been touched. And in the run game, they're opening up huge holes for our running backs. They're opening up the edges for me when I've been running. Our offensive line, they've been playing lights out.
Hey, Colin. How tough was it for you the first year and a half of your career not being able to play? What kind of kept you going? What got you through it? And what was it like to finally get on the field?
It was tough. Watching this team do well and not being able to contribute. For me, what kept me going was just the fact that I might get an opportunity to get out there, and when I did, I needed to take advantage of it. I think that was the biggest thing. It was a great feeling. I felt like I was back at home.
Colin, I know you've been asked many times about your relationship with Alex Smith. Has it worked out about as well as it possibly could? And do you sometimes think of what he must be going through in the situation when he was a starter and lost his job to you?
I think it has gone about as well as it could. Alex has been phenomenal. He's done nothing but things to help this team. He's done nothing but help me. So, he's been great through it. And to me, I've just been keeping my head down and trying to keep working.
Colin, you don't seem fazed or bothered by any of this. How crazy has this week been, and how are you taking it in?
It's a little bit weird to me. It's not necessarily crazy, just something different.
Colin, next week is National Signing Day. I'm curious to know about your recruitment out of Pittman, if you can kind of recall that a little bit, how heavily recruited you were, and maybe any advice you might have for kids next week that might not be highly recruited but could end up here like you one day.
My recruitment was very minimal. I had one scholarship offer, and that came a week or 2 weeks before signing day. So to me, it's something where you just have to try to hope for opportunity and do everything you can to get one coach to like you.
Has the loss of Mario Manningham and Kyle Williams in this time that you've been the starter been your most challenging adjustment you've had to make?
It has been tough. I think Kendall Hunter's been another player that we've lost that's been he was a big contributor to our offense. I think all three of them played major roles and were tough losses, but it's something where this offense, this team has to adapt to it and keep going.
Hey, Colin. I know it's been out there that some people thought you were a better baseball player in high school than you were a football player. A, is that true? And B, what pushed you and what made you want to continue with football and not try to pursue baseball?
Yeah, I was a better baseball player in high school, a lot more heavily recruited. But to me, football is what I loved. It's what I wanted to do.
Colin, you have 2 weeks to get ready for this game. How important has that been for you to have the additional week to get ready for an opponent you haven't seen before?
It gives us another week to really scheme up their defense, get extra looks at what they're doing, and really try to detail them out. Any extra time you can get looking at something, the more comfortable you're going to be with it, and hopefully the more prepared we are.
Colin, can you talk about, I guess a couple of years back you were at the Manning Passing Academy, and I think your coach had to write a letter, and just how you impressed when you got there, and just also how Vernon Davis emerged last week's game against Atlanta, the connection you're starting to have with him.
Can you say the end of that question?
Yeah, the connection you're starting to have with Vernon Davis after the championship game, just finding him and what he can do against linebacker safeties.
Yeah, I was at the Manning Passing Academy. It was a great experience. Got to spend time with Peyton and Eli, get some tips and pointers from them. And as far as Vernon coming alive last week, he's a matchup nightmare. I mean, if he's running against the linebacker or safety, we expect him to win every time. He's just physically gifted out there.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.